So turn it up like that when you want to talk. Oh, goodness. Okay, I've got it together now. Oh, I am so thankful. Thank you to each one of you who came out on this Mother's Day. Thank you for joining us. Today, we are talking about communication within the family. And I have asked the Martinezes to join us for this topic. I have been in their house. I've heard them communicate with each other, how the girls communicate with their parents, how the parents communicate with the girls. And I love the rapport they have. These girls know that they can go to mom and dad with anything, and I love that. By the same token, I think they know they could get smacked down very easily, but that's beside the point. We won't talk about that part. So I'm just going to say right now, if it was me in a church that was predominantly Hispanic and they asked me to come up and do this, I could not do it. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I applaud you for taking on this challenge. Thank you. Ingrid is here because sometimes there are words that they know what they want to say and the English word is not coming right then. And so she's there to kind of help push them over the finish line. All right, let's look at James 1:19. In the book of James, he's saying, "Wherefore, my beloved brethren, let every man be swift to hear, slow to speak, and slow to wrath." Now, that verse right there would do wonders for us across America if we could learn to adapt that. Quick to listen, but slow to speak and slow to get angry. Instead, it's kind of the opposite. Have you ever gotten a parking space that somebody else wanted? You didn't realize they wanted it until you're pulling in that space and they're honking the horn and screaming at you. We are so quick to react nowadays. So I love this verse. So in Ephesians 4:29, it says, "Let no corrupt communication proceed out of your mouth, but that which is good to the use of edifying, that it may minister grace unto the hearers." No corrupt communication. We're going to talk more about that in just a minute. But let's go on to our questions. And Brother Jacob, are you running with the mic today? Okay. So if you want to chime in, raise your hand. If I can't see you guys over there, somebody will tap me, wave your hands, whatever. Brother Jacob will get to you. Okay, question number 1. What role does communication play in strengthening family bonds? We're trying to get our families stronger. How does communication help with that? Brother Juan, let's start with you on that one.
Okay, I think the communication plays the most important role in the
Yes.
strengthening bonds, building trust, and understanding connection between family members. Open and honest communications allows to express their needs, their wants, and concerns, and also creates mutual support by praying for each other.
Oh, that's good. Yes. Did you have more? I didn't want to stop you. Okay. Sister Araceli, why don't you share what role does communication play?
Communication plays is a very important role at home. And the way I have learned to communicate in my relationship with God is how I use it to strengthen family bonds. The way we use it is important. For example, how we express feelings, how we solve conflicts without looking for culprits, but solutions.
Oh, that's good.
As a parents, leading by example, creating a space of trust where we can all develop ideas and thoughts without fear or of being judged, showing interest in what others have to say by listening carefully.
Oh, that is so good. I love how she put that about finding solutions. I love when we're communicating, instead of pointing our finger and blaming, we're trying to find solutions. I love that.
And being
Uh-huh.
empathetic,
Uh-huh.
asking God for discernment to identify problems, to strengthening dialogue
Mm-hmm.
as parents about raising children, which creates a bond at home applying God's word.
Oh, that's good. Applying God's, I love that. That is so good. I know that you are here to kind of help them, but do you have anything from the other end? This is coming from the parents' perspective. Do you have anything from, I don't want to call you a child, but you are their offspring. Do you have anything you would like to share? And I know you probably didn't plan on this, so I don't want to put you on the spot. Yeah, there it is.
Okay. Oh, I think when it comes to communication, it's sometimes I find it hard to communicate things when, like, towards my parents, when it's something more like something I would just tell my sister, or something I like that you feel like out of respect, you don't want to like seem like you're coming too strong, because respect is a huge thing in our family.
That's good.
So, but they've made it to where it's like they want us to feel comfortable to tell them anything, because at the end of the day, they're there for us. And I think in the Bible, it also says, to like the parents' roles are also just, to always be there for them as well, so or for their children. So they've made it to where we can tell them about anything without having to be afraid.
That's good.
Yeah, so
that is so good. I love that. I had written down a couple notes regarding communication. Something that I saw that I wanted to write down and remember: when communication breaks down, it creates misunderstandings and it can create problems in the family. And it's simply from lack of communication. Or how many times have you said something and somebody took it wrong and it blew up into something that wasn't even the way it was supposed to be? There's something that, there's a phrase nowadays, it's called active listening. Active listening is fully focusing on the speaker. With cell phones today, you're talking to a person, but they're on their phone. Or you're talking to them and they can see the notifications and they're dying to get on their phone. So you're talking to them, but the whole time they're looking down at their phone. Or, thank you, Apple Watch, you get text messages and notifications on your watch. So you're talking to someone and they're going, and they're scrolling on their watch. Drives me crazy. So active listening means we put down our devices, we listen to that person. And there's a thing that I heard about years ago: listening, not to respond. Some people only listen to what you're saying because they're trying to jump in to your conversation. Just listen to what somebody's saying. That can go miles in the family. Let's look at question number 2. How can we improve listening skills within the family? Oh my. I'm sure that there's no family here at Lighthouse that needs any help with communication, but for those who may come in the future, let's talk about that. Sister Araceli, let's start with you this time. How can we improve our listening skills in the family?
is listening attentively
Mhm.
is an act of love that strengthens relationships, putting the sense into dialogue
Uh-huh.
by adopting flexible attitude, listening with the intention of understanding the children in a way in which we make ourselves present and connecting visually.
That's good. Yes.
And since by practicing listening, emotional well-being improve and they feel valued and understood in the same way that God make us feel.
Oh, that's good.
Mhm,
Because we know that when we go to him, he's listening to us.
mhm.
But sometimes when people come to us, we're not giving off the impression that we're listening to them. That's good. That's so good. Did you have any more on that one? Okay, Brother Juan, how can we improve our listening skills?
Okay. Some ways families can improve listening skills is by really pay attention,
Yes.
showing empathy,
Mm-hmm.
asking questions, and try to avoid alterations, altercations. I think also it's important to create a family environment
Mm-hmm.
full of respect and trust,
Yes.
where every member feels comfortable sharing their thoughts or
Yes.
feelings.
That's good. Yeah.
This helps build healthy, kingdom-minded
Mhm.
families. So
Oh, that's so
it.
good. I love that when a family can feel comfortable enough, safe enough to share. That's so good. Yes. Brother Terrence.
Um, when you let's see, when you want to communicate, make sure you come with the perspective of trying to see it from someone else's point of view and not
That's
trying
good,
to get your
yes.
point across no matter
Yes.
what. Then you can actively understand where that person is coming from and
Uh-huh.
also how you can effectively get your point across.
Mm-hmm.
Also, each family is different. Everybody has different personalities. So
Mhm.
understanding who you're talking to, understanding your audience
That's true.
beforehand, so you can remove distractions or do what you need to do to actively communicate with that person.
That's right.
As well as that person
Yeah.
to receive what you want to communicate.
That is so good. Think about who you're talking to. I don't want to derail the conversation, but I'm sure with the two of you. Now, to us, Ingrid and Angelina seem so quiet and shy and just do whatever anyone asks them to do. Do you have to, at home when they were growing up, did you have to talk differently to one than you did another? Or did they both respond? Like, were you able to treat them exactly the same, or did you have to change things up according to their personality?
Separate, like depend the personality
Uh-huh.
is how we usually talk with. If 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 this isn't a point in family,
Uh-huh.
we resolve together. But sometimes I feel or I see how Ingrid it is in the personality,
Uh-huh.
and Angelina is they are different.
Uh-huh.
So I try to pray and to guide
Mhm.
for the Holy Spirit to see how. But because sometimes you think, well, in my way, like a mom,
Mhm.
I say all the time wanna be okay. No, sometimes I'm wrong.
Mhm.
So that's why I ask in prayers to God, like when is something is doesn't work, I say, well, something I don't doing good in me, maybe words or maybe my actions or
Uh-huh.
maybe So it's different. All the time talk with Ingrid different
Uh-huh.
way and Angelina same
All
different
right.
ways. Yes.
I like that. Did you notice in question number 1, and again with this, she has mentioned going to the Lord in prayer first before she talks to the children, before she does any type of, if the family is resolving something, going to prayer first. I love that because he gives you wisdom that we don't have on our own. I love that. Sister Leah.
Actually, same for Brother Skipper, who is watching online.
Oh, okay.
Put your phone down and look your family member in the eyes when they're talking to you.
That's good. Yes. Brother Terrence.
Yeah, and with that, you know, 'cause kids, you got to train them up.
Mm-hmm.
And something I like to do is, like Greg said, put the phones down and just give them that time to practice proper communication rather than, oh, I'm scrolling on the phone looking at you and then half hearing. You know,
Yes.
you still have to model it as well.
That's good. Okay, Ingrid, coming from someone who's grown up in this home, what are some ways that you've learned from them how to improve listening skills in the family?
I think some ways that I've gotten from them to improve how I listen in general, not just in the family, but in like just with anyone else and socially, I guess, is just really making sure you're paying attention, showing interest, and just being there, because it's true. People just sometimes just need someone to just listen and not really respond and like give an
That's
opinion
true.
or voice your input. They just need you to just be there, be present, really present, and just understand. So they've really taught me to just be there in that moment with the person, whoever's, and really just listen or to what.
I love that. That's so good. Something that I am working on very hard, but I'm not doing a good job, is not interrupting. I don't do it to be rude. I do it because a thought flies through my head and I know if I don't say it right then, it's going to be gone. And so my husband will be in the middle of talking and I'm like, oh, you know, that reminds me of blah, blah. And I start talking and he's like, can you let me finish what I was saying? So I'm working on that, but yes, not interrupting. You both talked about empathy, feeling what another person is feeling. And even Brother Terrence had said, you know, put yourself in that person's shoes. If you've got conflict in the family, for just a moment, step back and try to feel where they're coming from, and it can change your whole perspective. It can change your approach in how you come to them. Brother Rick.
To piggyback on that, in my experience, it's also important to know where you are emotionally when you're engaging,
Yes.
and then also taking a moment to get grounded.
Yes.
Sometimes if you're anxious or you want to engage or whatever it is, you might not be in the mindset of or emotional state to listen, and it's important to recognize that and, you know, take a time out or whatever and get
That's
to where you
good.
can fully focus on the other
Yes,
person.
that's so good. Bringing it down a notch or two. Sometimes we have to step out of the room and regroup. Yes, that's good. Something that I like is practice respectful disagreements. There are things that he and I do not agree on. We will never agree on, but we are respectful to each other, and it's not degrading or mocking or something like that to the other person. Did Brother Fred really have? I was going to go to him next. Okay. These are great. I love this. Let's go into question number 3. What are practical ways to encourage openness and honesty at home? Do I have the correct number on that? Is that the correct question? Okay, I was worried about that. Practical ways to encourage openness and honesty at home. Brother Juan, let's start with you on that one.
One practical way to encourage openness and honesty at home is with our testimony
Oh, good.
and our daily walk with God inside and outside the church. Being honest means showing yourself you are.
Uh-huh.
with your weakness, your strengths, your mistakes, and success.
Uh-huh.
And I think God loves
Yes.
honesty. You know, it's
That's
good.
so good. Would you read that first sentence again? I love that.
the the one practical way
Pra-
to
uh-huh.
encourage openness and honesty at home is with our testimony.
Our testimony. I love that. That is so good. How many times has us as kids growing up, we go through something and we don't come to our parents because we don't think they will understand? When our parents, if they will share their testimony, it's like, oh, they've been where I've been. It may have been a different generation, but still, the feelings are the same. Sister Araceli, why don't you give us some ways, openness and honesty at home?
Well, as a result of my constant and intimate relationship with God, I have been able to have open communication, the key to building a home full of trust
Uh-huh.
and support that helps to understand the needs and desires of each one, strengthening affective ties. It also serves to prevent and solve conflicts
Uh-huh.
and contributes contributes to emotional and social development development, promoting a sense of belonging and constant support, and to be as a parent example by speaking honestly and serenely.
Oh, that's good. Did you notice she started with talking to God? I love that. You can tell that is the basis in this home. They don't tackle something until they've talked to God about it.
And well, example by speaking honestly and serenely, even in difficult times,
Mhm.
showing verbal communication practice. For example, open communication, calm tone, calm tone,
Uh-huh.
and validating emotions
Uh-huh.
is very important. Speaking clearly and avoiding prejudice.
Uh-huh.
And no, the other thing, it is a non-verbal,
Mhm.
such as paying attention, having details, affective gestures,
Mhm.
and listening to them constantly, which generates trust in them.
Yes.
Because as a parents, we must motivate them to speak the truth,
Uh-huh.
even in difficult situations,
That's
as
right.
God's word tells us.
Oh, that's good. Yes. And the nonverbal, when you were saying that, that is so important. We don't realize that people are watching our nonverbal when we roll our eyes, or that says a lot. Yes. Brother Rick, did you have? This is good.
Um, one way to really, I guess it's really hard to do, but a way for people to open up is just to be vulnerable.
Uh-huh.
Like it's difficult to do, but a lot of times people will potentially open up, just kind of like what Dr. Juan or Brother Juan was saying. It was just
Uh-huh.
testimony, but being vulnerable in that.
Yes.
Just
And I'm
lowering your
sure
guards.
you've probably run into that with Samuel, where you've had to kind of show him, I'm not perfect. Or maybe you're still in the Superman phase for Samuel, but the teen years are coming. Yes, that is so true. Being vulnerable will help a person.
That or patience, or anybody you talk to.
Yes, I love this. This is so good. Let's see. So I got some notes here on how to encourage openness, create a safe space for conversations. Listen, I've been to friends' homes when I was growing up that they could not, it was not a safe space to talk. When the child had to go to a parent with an issue or a problem, it was going to blow up and turn into just, rather than listening to what they were saying, it would turn into something huge. It was not a safe space. We talked about practice active listening. Set aside regular family time. That sounds so simple, but it's so needed in today's family because people are going in all these different directions. You've got to have some time together. How, as Ingrid, as their child, how can she be going to them with problems that she has? Or if Angelina has an issue that she needs to come to her mom and dad, but she doesn't even know them because she never sees them. We've got to have family time in order to get to know and feel comfortable talking to each other. Do you have anything that you've noticed growing up about how to get openness and honesty at home?
I think just for me, growing up as a kid, I feel like you get scared that when you let's say you break something at home or like something happens on like accidentally, obviously, and mom's not there yet, but you're like, I don't know how to tell her, or I'm scared to, or if I just lie, it won't be as bad. But I've learned that lying just feels worse. And that just makes her more mad. So I've realized as a kid, just always being honest is always the best option. And so just telling her like right then and there, this is what happened, this is what I did, or it was an accident, I'm sorry. She appreciates that way more than me trying to cover something up.
Yes. Oh, yes. I learned the hard way with that one. Woo, yes. Sister Nanette.
A couple of things I always tried to do was I was always very honest with the girls about things. The biggest one being when my girls were coming up, it was when mothers were trying to be best friends. And I flat out told them, I can't be your best friend because I'm your mother. When you grow up and get out of my house, I can be your best friend. But right now it's a conflict of interest.
That's good.
But also age appropriate.
Yes.
There are some things that would happen and I would discuss as much as I could, but tell them, I don't think this is age appropriate. When you get a little bit older, we can revisit this. And like Angeli said, I always told them you get in less trouble if you're honest than if you lie to me and then I find out.
Yes.
You'll still probably get in trouble if it was something you weren't supposed to be doing. But if you're honest with me, the punishment is far less than if you lie to me.
That's the truth. Oh, yes. That's good. One thing I love both of them have talked about is building this foundation of trust where the girls know that they can go to mom and dad and it's going to stay there. I've had friends that their parents told the church everything going on in their home. Parents, have some privacy in your home, things that are just between you guys. And I feel like that trust of knowing, and the same thing with the students, the children. The children don't need to be sharing. Y'all know what it's like. If you've ever worked with children, they share everything going on in the home. It's like, oh no, we don't need to hear that. Once you're teenagers, you don't have to share everything. There's got to be some privacy within the home. Okay, do we have anybody else before I move to the next question? Okay, question number 4. How does Ephesians 4:29 guide us in our daily interactions with family? Now, in case you've forgotten what Ephesians 4:29, that is the one that said, let no corrupt communication proceed out of your mouth, but that which is good to the use of edifying, that it may minister grace unto the hearers. So how can we take that verse and use it with our family? Sister Araceli, let's start with you.
Well, as a result of the fruit of the Holy Spirit in my life, that guides me fundamentally to build strong and healthy relationships. By using our words to build up, we are contributing to to an environment of love, support, and protection's spiritual growth. That our words always reflect God's heart and love for others. For our relationship with God should influence how we speak to those around us, being careful not to hurt or discourage, but to speak in ways that inspire comfort and strengthen. This com- this implies this implies speaking with truth, kindness, and understanding, always seeking the good of the family.
I love that. And again, did you notice what she started with? The Holy Spirit. That's the foundation of it all. I love that. Brother Juan, how does Ephesians 4:29 guide you?
A family can communicate and interact about important issues, feelings, and emotions by following Ephesians 4:29. This verse can help us ensure our words are helpful and uplifting, especially during difficult moments in our times of disagreements between the family. Ephesians 4:29 give us a guidance in being more aware of our words and to use them to build up best our family.
Yes. Both of them mentioned that, using our words to build up. How many people are sitting in churches today with so much baggage from their childhood because the words were tearing them down, were cutting them, were making them feel less than what they should be? And if we look at Ephesians 4:29, both of you mentioned that, using our words to build up. Yes, you still have to correct when something is done wrong, but it can be done in a way that's not hurting that child and crushing that child. That's so good. You want to give us your feeling on this? I know you didn't even ask for this. You're just up here as the interpreter, and we're getting your input from the other side.
I think this verse is very important as well in family, and it can be something that guides us as parents and also as kids or children. And for me, I think it's important to thankfully I've never gone through anything like where it's a child's just being cut down or has parents who never really gave them uplifting words. It was always just really just tearing them down. But thankfully for me, that's not the case.
Good.
So, but it was the opposite. So those words help. They don't know this, but they help me more than they will ever know.
Oh, that's good.
And it's something that I always carry with me. And even when I'm like doing things that are like, even the small things, like what if I'm taking an exam or something, I'm praying obviously, but I remember when my mom says, you're capable, you can do it, stuff like that. So it's like,
that is so
that'll
good.
always be with us. So as kids,
That is
it's
so
really
good.
important. Yeah.
And you're eventually, if you choose to have a family, you're going to carry on that same
Right. Yeah.
building up that was instilled into you. I love that. I found it ironic that humans spend billions of dollars on communication, satellite technology, microwave relays, telephones, all this kind of stuff, so we can communicate better. But yet, the most efficient way to communicate doesn't cost anything. If we're face to face talking, using Ephesians 4:29, building each other up, I just find it ironic that we spend so much money on communication when our consideration and our time is what people are looking for. When the Bible talks about corrupt communication, I did a little deep dive to check on the Greek of this, and it refers to language that is harmful, disrespectful, or discouraging. Harmful, disrespectful, or discouraging, which means it doesn't apply just to adults. We've got to teach children that when you're disrespectful to someone, whether it's in the home or outside of the home, that is the corrupt communication that Paul was writing about. We don't realize that until we get to study in that verse. But when we are being disrespectful, or when we're discouraging somebody, and we're telling them, yeah, you're not going to be able to do that. That's not yours. You don't need to do that. That's discouraging. That's corrupt communication. I've never thought of that before till I really got to digging into that. You both talked about building others up, create a positive environment, showing kindness. And I think Ephesians 4:29, it causes us to evaluate our conversations. So when we're at work, when we're at home, when we're communicating with each other here at church, we need to filter it through Ephesians 29. What I'm saying to you, am I encouraging you? Am I uplifting you? Or am I being disrespectful and bringing you down? Corrupt communication. Okay, we have just a few more minutes. And I didn't think we would have time to get into this, but let's try very quickly. Share a time when effective communication resolved a family conflict. You said you had a funny one, right? Okay, she's going to give us a humorous one. A time when effective communication resolved a family conflict.
Well, when a conflict arises, for example, with my husband, that can sometimes bring out the worst in me. With God's help, I learned to use non-verbal communication, in which I remain silent, pay attention, show affectionate gestures, and listen attentively. And that helps us to solve any conflicts or situations that arises in effective way according to God's will. And when we can't solve something, we pray together, asking God for his intervention, and we have seen results.
All right, I love that. I love that she said nonverbal. She said, I'm not going to scream and say what all I want to say right now. Brother Juan, did you have anything to add on to that? If you don't, it's okay. Effective communication. I want to hear from you out there. Can you think of a time that there's been a conflict in your family? Don't give us the gory details, but can you think of a time in your family that communication helped work everything out? Maybe the communication got loud and you don't want to share that with us. Do you have a time? Yeah, it's every day. Yeah.
I feel like every day. I'm not like when I say it's like almost every day. It's not like where it's oh my gosh every day we're screaming at each other, but it's just mostly where it's we've had it to where all we do is communicate. So it's like we're always using the most effective ways we can, and even if sometimes it's not perfect, obviously it's never perfect, but it's still definitely effective because we solve it, we resolve whatever problems we're going through, and of course praying together as well as a family, we try to do that as well a lot. And so I feel like all we do is really communicate, and so it's it's just how it is with us. So
That's so good. But do you know what did you notice? She's saying we always communicate. So it's not unusual. If they have an issue arise in the family, it's not unusual for them to talk about it because that's normal. If you have a family where nobody's talking to each other, then it feels awkward when you have a situation arise and you're trying to work it out. Pastor, let's hear from you.
Well, you said to share the gory details, so I was.
Oh dear.
No, I think it's important for us to know the difference between communication and effective communication.
Yes.
Just in the same way that if you are not speaking the same literal language as someone else, you have difficulty understanding what they're saying. You can both have valid viewpoints, but if you're not speaking the same language, you're not going to be able to share that. And a part of the point of communication is that both parties are actually understanding what the other person's saying. And I said all that to say this. You've referenced it before, how that in the beginnings of our marriage, you would come in giving me a list of all these problems and all these things that happen, and I immediately went into fix it mode. Well, this is what you need to do. That's not what she wanted from me. That wasn't, I was hearing what she was saying, but I wasn't understanding her because I wasn't understanding what it was she needed from me. And we really got to a place where we'll press pause and say, okay, let's get on the same page. Let's talk the same language. What is it that you want from me in this? Do you just want me to listen? Do you want me to tell you that you're right and everybody else is wrong? Or are you looking for a solution to this? Do I need to put that hat on, right? And I think especially within families, we have to be willing to step back and kind of, we can't say, pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. We've got to say, okay, this is what's going on behind the curtain. I don't know what it is that you want from me in this, but I want to be able to give you what you need. And so I think we've got to make sure that we're speaking the same language.
That's true. And that just happened like a week or so ago. My brain was convoluted and I just had all these, it's like your computer has too many tabs open. And so it's running slowly. And I just had too many things and I'm trying to talk to him and he goes, okay, stop. Do you want me to fix this or do you just need to talk it out? I said, I just need to talk it out first and then you can fix it. But I had to get it all out of my head. That's part of effective communication. Sister Nanette.
I did not learn to communicate well growing up. So, and I've told the girls this, if they ever had this issue with trying to talk to me or something, when something was upsetting me and I couldn't get it out, I would write Mike a letter and I usually got home from work about a half hour before he did. And I would leave it on the corner of the counter where he could see it. If he could ask me the right questions, I could get it out. But otherwise, I was so used to keeping it all locked inside.
Yes.
I couldn't get it out and I couldn't relieve myself of what was going on and include him. But the writing was something I was used to doing. And it made communication to the point where now we can talk.
That's good.
It helped me evolve and learn to communicate.
That's so good. I know it is 10:45 and we're supposed to be dismissing. I'm going to throw you real quickly. Humor goes a long way in diffusing anger. That doesn't mean laugh off problems that you're having, but some things we can smile or we can laugh and come back to it when things are a little bit lighter. Very quickly, Sister Leah.
Sometimes when I'm trying to communicate, the words won't come. It's in my brain, but I cannot say it.
Yes.
So having your family who can start not fixing it, but trying to supply you words or holding off when you say, hang on, give me a second.
Yes.
Helps.
Yes, absolutely. And I'll tell him sometimes, hold on, I'm glitching. Give me just a minute. My computer's glitching. Yes. This has been so good. Thank you for your participation. Thank you to the Martinez family. Thank you so much. This was a lot for you to do, and I appreciate so much you doing that. Thank you. Next week are the Fletchers, so you want to be back at 10 o'clock to hear them. You are dismissed. Ooh, we went